Former Scotland and Leinster coach Matt Williams has once again launched a scathing attack on the Springboks' infamous bomb squad, doubling down on his stance that the way teams are structuring their benches is damaging the game. The outspoken pundit has long been critical of South Africa's dominance through their forward-heavy bench, but now, as more teams, England, France, Scotland, and Italy are adopting the same strategy, Williams insists World Rugby must step in before it's too late. We are getting so immune to this now ever since the last World Cup and South Africa started going 6-2 and 7-1, Williams said on Virgin Media Sport. Williams has repeatedly warned that these extreme forward-heavy benches are a tactical gamble, especially when teams are left exposed due to injuries in the backline. Scotland painfully learned that lesson the hard way last weekend when Darcy Graham and Finn Russell collided and had to leave the field, with no trained fly half on the bench to cover for Russell. When you go with a 6-2 bench, there are a whole lot of reasons that I've spoken about in the past, but you're rolling the dice on your backs not getting hurt, and it's worse when you go 7-1. And no one wants to see what happened on Sunday. It was awful, but accidents happen in our game. It's a contact sport. But Scotland didn't have a trained 10 on their bench. For Williams, the solution is obvious, and he's calling on World Rugby to act before this bench strategy spirals out of control. Until we get to that point where World Rugby starts saying, you do have to have 3 suitably trained backs as part of your 8, this option that we saw on Saturday is going to be a constant in the game, and that's a shame because it's easily solved. In his latest column for the Irish Times, Williams has taken his argument even further, claiming that the current laws have created a rugby landscape that prioritizes brute force over skill. Well-considered law changes that reduce the impact of scrum engagements and converted technical scrum infringements to free kicks and not penalties diluted the motivation for brutal scrummaging tactics, Williams wrote. The wisdom of those in stewardship of the game during those difficult days all but eliminated the danger of spinal injury in scrums. Over the following decades, law changes have once again empowered aggressive scrummaging. The reserve bench, which was introduced as a safety law to protect players' spines in the 1980s, has metamorphosed into an instrument that has drastically reduced the number of backline players who can participate in the game and fueled match-defining power to scrummaging that lawmakers in the 1980s could never have foreseen. Williams is adamant that the evolution of the bench has led to an imbalance in how the game is played, one that World Rugby never intended when substitutions were first introduced. The Springboks have used their forward-heavy bench strategy to dominate the world stage, winning back-to-back World Cups in 2019 and 2023, while setting a new benchmark for power-based rugby. Now the rest of the world is following suit, but at what cost? Williams's comments have once again ignited one of the biggest debates in modern rugby. Is the 6-2 or 7-1 bench split simply a masterclass in tactical evolution, or has it turned the game into a dangerous arms race that limits backline play and endangers player welfare? What do you think? Is Matt Williams right, or is he just bitter about South Africa's success? Let us know in the comments below.